So one of the things that you guys will get on this channel, you're going to get spiritual, you're going to get practical, and honestly, all the practical is really bring you back to the spiritual, okay? And when I say spiritual, I'm not talking about that random word that's out there. I'm talking about following the examples of God, following his principles that he has for us in our lives as believers. Sometimes as believers, people get into the religious aspect of it, but they're not realizing that a part of being a child of God is having your house in order, your everyday life in order. And while everything may not be perfect, I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed and feel like, oh, I have this to take care of, that to take care of. You bring all your issues to the Lord, and one thing at a time you take care of. One thing at a time you take care of by the power of God. And so we're going to talk today a little bit more about child support. Now, ladies, I'm going to tell you, you should not be paying your boyfriend's child support. You should not be doing that. Now, once you get married to a person, if you marry a man and he has back child support, I'm here to tell you that it's going to affect your house because what's yours is his and what's his is yours. And that includes your debts. So you're going to end up being in a situation if he has back child support and his ex files, you're going to end up paying that. But you want to make sure whenever you are sitting down with a man, sisters, it's so interesting that a lot of times you want to be with this man so badly, or you want a relationship that you want to overlook the obvious. So if he doesn't have his house together, he has, random children, he has, problems with his ex, all these different things. He has back child support. He's not paying on his child support. In order to maintain that, you're going to pay it for him. It is not your job to pay that for him. I'm trying to tell you that. The minute you start doing that, it's like you're paying his school fees for him because you're his mother. And that's going to put you in this position that you don't want to be in this relationship, because a lot of times, even if that man will accept you doing that, there's something in him that makes he's going to feel less of a man. He's going to feel grateful at the moment, maybe even relieved. But you will find that if you had to pay his child support for him and you're helping him do that, you're going to find other areas in his life that it's just not together. Now, there are rare, okay, occasions where this man actually has everything together except for that. And I'm here to tell you, that's not even realistic, because if he has other things together than this thing, he's only going to have it handled and taken care of. And he's not going to have you pay for that. He will tell you, hey, I have these things I need to take care of. And he's going to want to handle those things before he's trying to embark on a relationship with you. But sometimes some women, they get afraid, and they want to be a part of this man's life so badly that they're like, oh, I'll help you pay your child support. I'm going to help you pay this off, pay that off. But you're not allowing him to be a man. One of the things that I will say, one thing about my ex-fiance was that he would never take any money from me. I've never had to give him money or anything like that, because he had his own money. I had my own money, and he was very generous. And, we were generous to one another. Let's just put it like that. But, something happened once, and, he never looked to me and even tried to get money from me. I've never ever had to give him money or anything like that. Never. We would just treat each other, you know what I mean? But something happened, and he was just determined that I'm going to work this out, and I'll take care of this. I don't want you to do anything in this matter. I'll handle it. And so that was a good thing about him. And there's nothing wrong everybody's scenario is different. So, for example, you may have someone who's normally responsible, but something really honestly happens to him all of a sudden. And then you're the one that's kind of holding things down for a little bit. But you should not be doing this as anybody's girlfriend. I'm talking about your husband has a financial situation going on and you're holding it down. Perhaps there are other rare occasions where you're not married to the person, something really happens. Let's say, for example, you're dating someone and they just get into this terrible situation and I don't know, you want to help them out in that way. But most of the times that's not what it is. You'll simply find that the person has left things, just kind of ignored a situation, did not take care of a matter, and then the debt from child support or whatever accumulates, and then he's now in someone else's life, and you'll find he would have gone through different relationships, and women have been trying to help them along the way, and then you would find that he even owes other women money, okay, because of when they helped him and helped him do this and that, and now here you come. A lot of times when that man is telling you all about his issues and his problems, and he has this going on and that going on, and he's not saying, and a lot of times when a man, in my opinion, already has his stuff under, he's not going to just be randomly talking to you about things like that, because a lot of times men don't just put things out like that, okay? Unless it's going to be something that is unavoidable and it's going to come out anyway. But a man that is actually responsible, he's not going to really be discussing his financial woes and what he owes. But you find the men that are just bringing up the random things that they owe and, they have this going on, they can't pay for this. It's because that man wants you to offer. And you just don't want to start on that slippery slope of paying his phone bill, paying this, helping him to get that, helping him to get groceries, buying him this, buying that, paying his child support. It is not your job to do that. You need to let that man be a man, and that's by standing on his own 2 feet and doing the things that he needs to do. Because he's going to resent you for it. That's the weird part about it. You would have helped and did all these things, but he will resent you for it. And the more you're paying for things and the more that you are giving them money and getting involved in the, child support issues and his baby mama drama and all these different things and the ex and who and blah, 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 and random people showing up and calling him. Ladies, that is not the will of God for you. You want a man that has his house in order. A man that perhaps, if even at some point in his life, he was not responsible and he did not do things the way he should. When he becomes a man of God, he becomes a child of God, the Lord is going to address all these issues in him. And he is going to want to get it right. And that man's first priority is to get his house in order before he is trying to even begin a family or try to bring a woman into that type of situation. Too often women are being the mothers. You're the one that's motivating the man to work. You're the one that's motivating him to keep going. You're the one that's paying off his debts and doing all these things. And honestly, even if he takes it, there's a sense of shame. There's a sense of, I should be able to do this. And then they begin to resent you because of your stability, because of your financial stability. It will be a problem. And so just a random conversation or just mere suggestions to him sounds like you're telling him what to do because you have been paying for his stuff. You're paying his school fees. I say that because it'll be like, that's what parents do. So even though you're not literally paying his school fees, that's what it will be like. And he's going to resent you for it. And even it may be of such guys that he gets established and gets himself together. He doesn't want to be with you anymore because he remembers that you saw him when he was broke down. You're the one that paid for everything. And somehow he feels indebted to you. Sometimes he's going to feel like less than a man. And what really happens, ladies, if you're paying for all this man stuff and you're doing all those type of things, you yourself, your position and the way you approach him is going to be different, because you've paid for this, you've paid for that. You feel like he owes you answers. You may say, no, he's the man, but somewhere in you, there's going to be this, you can't depend on him, but he can lean on you. So the dynamics of the relationship turns and changes. No matter how fine he is, no matter how lonely you believe that you are, let that man get his house in order. And you sometimes got to realize this one is not for you. He's not for you. A man who's not paying his bills, he's not taking care of his debts, he's not making an effort. Some people, they fall on hard times, granted. Some men simply fall on hard times. It can happen. I'm not talking about that. And even if he falls on hard times, you want to give that man encouragement and give him the space to build himself back up. Because there's something in you paying for everything that really does not sit well with a man, even if he takes it. And it's going to change the dynamics of the relationship. If a man has strayed away from God and did not have his house in order, allow the Lord to do his perfect will in him. Let him get himself back up, get himself in order, because I'm telling you, when he desires to do that, and when he sees that he's taking his time and building himself up again and taking and following after God and taking care of his debts and paying back what he owes and everything, it makes him feel good as a man. And it motivates him to do more. And when he does that and he keeps his eyes on God and begins to rebuild himself, then he is going to be in a better position to be a spouse for you, not your child. So if you're doing this, you're somebody's girlfriend paying all their debts. Hold on, guys. That's my that's my online Bible thing. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So give him the opportunity to be the man that he needs to be and stop trying to make him, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. You may have an equivalent in your country, but in the malls, there's this place that's called Build-A-Bear, and you can go build your own teddy bear from scratch. And so you have women that's really dedicated to these projects called Build a Man. You want to build that man and help him to be. No, we're here to be helpmeets and encouragement, but you can't be, you're not supposed to be too much of a helpmeet to your boyfriend, someone that you are not married to. You can give them encouragement, but they need to do the work. Men are built to work. They are strong. That's why they're so much stronger than us. They can lift you up and they can hold you and they can run fast. And that also goes in dealing with their own problems. You can be an encouragement and tell him you can do it. But then you should not be where you are prodding him and goading him to take responsibility. When you have that type of a man and he's always it's like he becomes very deflated, and then you have to have your emotional pump to keep him up. It's going to tire you out and he's going to get sick and tired of you. Don't get into the project of women where you're coming in relationships with a hard hat, steel toe boots, and your little utility belt, your tape measure, your plaster. You don't want to do all of that. It's going to make you hard, and it's going to put you in a position with that man that you don't want to be in. Let him be a man. And if he cannot be, then you simply let him go and trust the Lord for who he has for you. And in the meantime, be content being with you. Because if you're not content being with you, nobody else was going to be. Nobody else is going to be content with you if you're not content with you. All right, ladies. Peace.